advertising is free art. Okay, look at it as free art. You have the trouble is, you like a book, you pay for the book. You like a movie, you pay for the movie. You like an ad, you pay for something else.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of On Second Thought. As with every episode, we start with the quote that says, "The future is already here, but it's not evenly distributed." So, the point of the podcast is to talk to people who are building, creating, imagining, and shaping better, more nuanced and curious futures, which is why you're here. Today, our very special guest is PG Aditya. It's been an extremely long time coming, but I'm so grateful that we've made time for this. And there's so much that I want to ask you, but also put you on the spot. So I will have you introduce yourself today. And you can say if someone didn't know you or didn't use your title, how would you sort of introduce yourself?
Introduce actually, yeah, before I introduce myself, can just a note of appreciation for you, Komal. So we're shooting this in Bangalore, and Komal lives in Bombay, and it's just so there is a Bombay privilege that a lot of creators, influencers, people in media get to have, where if there's anything, like, the rest of the country needs to fly to Bombay to make it happen. But Komal's been very kind to fly to us here in Bangalore, and I hope you're liking this
I
city
love
while
all,
you're here.
three of my guests are from Bangalore.
There we go. See, yeah, nothing gets built in Mumbai anymore, right? Anyway,
So yes, introduce yourself, please.
my name is PG. I'm a co-founder at the shop called Talented. We also a co-founder at a bunch of our other cousin companies, like called the New Thing and Early. Would like to think that we make ads that and content and whatever else that usually people don't skip. Yeah, I think simple enough definition. I
Yeah,
hope, yeah.
I just want to say I have seen a lot of your podcasts, like we were talking earlier. And so, as I mentioned, I want to try doing this differently. And you can also catch me if I'm asking you something that's too basic or something that's like really annoying when you get asked. And in that light, we're doing something fun. So, we have got your objects of affection or emotion. And I want to start off with that because you've not done that before. And why don't you pick the one that you want to um, begin explaining?
I don't want to begin explaining, dude. Nothing. This is an apple. I'm yet to eat it. I will eat it. It does not have too much significance for me, but it is in my bag. Uh,
This
this
is
one
like what's in your bag Vogue videos.
yeah. What was in my bag was these three, and then these are okay. So these are two. I don't know. Do we get a close up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll,
Ta-da-ta. Okay. So these are two medals of these two campaigns of Talented, which, damn it, okay, of these two campaigns of Talented. This is Britannia's Nature Shapes Britannia. I think if any of you have seen these billboards that were shaped like trees around them on the internet over the last 6 to 9 months, that was Talented's work. And this is for a campaign called Avni's Gold, which was celebrating the Paralympic gold medalist Avni Lekra with a limited edition uh, biscuit pack, Mari biscuit pack of her own. Basically, the idea was to do a to Avni's target, basically this shooter, her target was pretty much the same size of a marigold biscuit. It
right.
was that small, right? So Britannia basically did a limited edition biscuit for her, which kind of just, it was her scorecard entirely, that just kind of was represented through the marigold biscuit. It was very cool. So these two campaigns ended up winning a bunch of awards. But the thing with awards generally is they give you one award and you're supposed to
Yeah.
just put that up on the agency shelf or wherever. So we kind of decided, we kind of felt like everyone who's worked on the campaign needs to have a kind of piece of the whole thing. So these medals were kind of created and distributed to awarded basically to everyone who was part of the campaign at work this year. And it was a pretty sweet, nice, sentimental ceremony that
Yeah.
took place about a month ago. and it was nice. It was kind
A
of was
wholesome,
reflecting.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, and I've seen the office at Talented, so the shelf is full of awards. I think there's not enough space, so I think it's like it is really cute, and it is very true, because a lot of even design studios do have that. Like it's like your badge of honor. You start
right.
the decks with that,
Hmm.
so it is a yeah, it is. I think a really sweet gesture. And what about the lovely book that we have?
Oh, dude, this is a great book. I think anyone who is just looking to, um, if 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 anyone is interested in just advertising history, media history, it's a fantastic book to read. It's kind of about how um, a bunch of stuff went to shit in our line of work for about 20 years between 1980 and 2000, and it's a very how we got to where we got kind
Yeah,
of a thing. Um, I think people of my generation, we have not inherited a wonderful industry. We have inherited a pretty problematic industry, and this book kind of talks about how it became
yeah.
problematic.
I
Yeah.
actually learned about this at your other podcast, and in general of
Mm-hmm.
my history of stalking all of your videos. The depth of knowledge that you have on the history of it, like of course being in the industry, everyone understands, and there's taste and sensibility, but the history of it, and then for me, like the change in narrative that Talented brought in,
Mm.
specific to like the pricing and the talent density, two of the things that you have spoken about. But in the podcast that I'm referring to, when you spoke about man hours just being this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like this like concept that was done,
Right.
and then everyone just copied it, and there was no
Hmm.
logic. And I've spent some time in advertising, and even if not in advertising, in the creative industry, everyone tries to follow this man hour
Sure.
system, and it is a bit broken. And with larger companies, procurement and all of that. So really what caught my eye too was, one, an agency coming in as a brand, owning this narrative that we tell brands to own, that
Hmm.
like your pricing model is broken or agency models are broken. Before, it was cool to say.
Sure.
I saw your, like, I think Khan's talk maybe 3 years back when you spoke about it. And then you added color to it of, hey, this is the history behind why people even did it,
Hmm.
which I also never questioned. And I
Hmm.
sort of
Hmm.
learned that. So for someone who doesn't know, because I think man hours is basic, like a lot of people use that model.
Sure. Yeah.
So, for you, what was that moment of realizing? And then also, how did you all decide that, hey, we're gonna crack the clutter using this as our sort of, you know, uh, at least that was
Hmm.
one of the
Hmm.
first few
Hmm.
things I
Yeah.
saw on Talented.
Yeah. No, dude, fair, and thank you for saying that. I think I don't know, man. Like it does have this. Like I'd like to believe that uh, the creative agency, the floor as such, it had a lot of the ideas about what we call as corporate culture today comes from advertising.
Right.
Shorts on a Friday or a t-shirt on a Friday to office,
Yeah.
that comes from advertising. A TT court at work, that comes from advertising.
Yeah.
Right. This idea of like, hey, listen, let's all just be casual with each other, and let's not really, let's try to make work fun.
Yeah.
That comes from advertising.
Yeah.
Right. So we pretty much invented work culture as a concept. Our industry invented work culture as a concept. We've not been credited for it
Yeah.
enough, because we've done a kind of a shit job of knowing our own worth. And I think the book goes into a bunch of that as well. But I think for us, I mean, we do have a very, like, fairly self-aware of what we bring to the table, and sure, sometimes I think that, I mean, there's always a risk of us feeling like, oh fuck, am I are we allowed, do we swear
Yeah. Yeah.
on second thought?
Yes.
Okay,
We're
cool.
not that big.
Okay, cool. So there's a yeah, so there is this general sense of, okay, we know what where we are bringing to the table, we know what the what the good times looked like, what the non-good times look like, and therefore what the good times can look like.
Yeah.
I think there is a genuine perspective on that, and I think our general stance towards the whole thing comes from a place of, we think we're pretty confident of our industry's future.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a lot of the cynicism around the way that work happens in our line of work, all of that comes because I think generally people are not too sure of what's going to happen 10 years, 15, 20 years later. The most used term in advertising is dead.
Yeah.
Right? And you kind of need to start with that to kind of have a conversation. So we reject all of that.
Yeah.
And I think that so that's kind of where the confidence and therefore the perspective
Came
on the
from.
whole thing comes
But
from.
even
Yeah.
then, the narrative was like the old agency model is dead, and like this
Sure.
is that was kind
Yeah,
of
that
what,
it is. Yeah, that it is. Yeah.
And do you, at least in an India context, do you see that changing a bit?
Uh, the trouble is it's unfortunate, but most of the large, the biggest agencies in India, billing wise, otherwise, and all of that, they're still owned by global companies.
Correct.
Right? They're still network agencies, right? So the Indian agency entrepreneur, the independent agency entrepreneur, of course, is changing things.
Yeah.
Right? We don't, but a lot of the Indian network agencies, they can't really change even if they wanted to, and
Yeah.
most of them want to. It's just that it's a much larger global
Yeah.
whatever, right? So unfortunately they're gonna have to wait until stuff changes globally, and then
Yeah.
it will change in India along with them for that.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last, like, technical, but like also genuinely for me again,
Mm-hmm.
the talented handbook, which I have also previously pestered
Sure.
you about, and I have shared it like with everybody. Like, what was the thinking again? How long did it take? Also, just the philosophy of people are ideas, but like, how does that actually manifest when you're like going ahead and like the anatomy of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people are ideas is a very controversial statement. I didn't realize it was a controversial statement when we wrote it,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like, very simply, right? Like, I think if you were to imagine people as ideas, there are two things that happen. So A, what do you do for an idea? You need to make sure that it's well nurtured for. It is an idea needs to be well paid.
Yeah.
So let's say you need to have good budgets for it. An idea needs to be well rested for it to be productive. So it needs to have enough time
Yeah.
to bring it to fruit. An idea needs to be well supported. So it needs to have a support system of other people
Yeah.
and all of that. An idea needs to have a visionary for it, so it needs to have good bosses and so on. So in a sense that for any creative person, when they're thinking, oh my god, my idea is my baby, I have to like nurture it and take care of it, all of that, it's kind of how we feel the same way about people.
Yeah.
Right? And as a creative industry, I think as creative people, we know very well how to take care of our ideas.
Yeah.
And we really badly want to do that. We don't know as much of how to take care of our people.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because I feel, again, there's a lot of why I'm asking this. It's not just to keep praising talented, but it's also so that if someone is starting their own thing, which a lot of people are, or are founders too, you often have so many things like that are in your sort of saved folder in your head in terms of ideas and also what you want to do for the organization. But there's so much hesitancy in putting it out. And what I really loved about everything from the anti narrative that Talented came out with, or with the Talented handbook, or with sharing these things, or sharing the philosophy and then living it, there's no hesitation,
Right.
which I think oftentimes, even in independent studios, and maybe mine is more from a design lens, there's a lot of hesitation to even just press publish. And so what would you like sort of tell someone or advise someone who's just holding on to these things, either waiting for perfection or scared of how it's going to get sort of reciprocated? That's one. And then two, I also, having met a few people at Talented, it's insane how much that's seeped down. Not in terms of pride, but in terms of we're so aligned in what we're building and what we contribute. And yes, we're a talent dense organization. So I know I'm good. That oftentimes doesn't also reflect. So again, how did you cultivate that just so that for someone who is also building, it's,
there was a lot of demand for a shop like this.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of, I mean, if you were to come out with a consumer product that exactly met the exact demand,
Yeah.
right? And everyone's like, dude, yeah, this is exactly what we were saying had to happen. And I think we know those brands when we see it.
Yeah.
Any kind of there's this agency we really love. Their name is Uncommon.
Right.
Uncommon's mission is to, I think it's to build the brands people in the real world wish existed.
Right.
Right. So I think we all have those. All that needs to happen. No, is this thing needs this and this and this needs to happen, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is nobody doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it was responding to genuine demand that existed within the creative community and the media and the marketing community and the business community overall. I think in some way and for the and it was just taking a bunch of advice that we've been giving clients and implementing it ourselves. So the concept of being an employer brand is something we have asked brands to do for ages. So a bunch of there's this department called planning in advertising, which they'll have this little prism where they're like, okay, what kind of brand do you want to be? A jester? Do you want to be a magician? Do you want like a bunch of types of brands you can be? And within that, so under that, like being an employer brand is a very legitimate thing that we have recommended to clients overall, and we've recommended that to clients whose the biggest thing on their cost sheet is probably not even people.
Correct.
Their biggest thing on the cost sheet is probably something in their supply chain. They're building some factory or something. That's where most of their money is probably going. The biggest thing on any agency's cost sheet is human salaries.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes we're not just doing this from the niceness of our hearts. It fully and completely makes sense for every creative agency to be an employer brand, and that's also why we're employee owned. So we're one of the, I think to our knowledge, one of the very, very few companies in our part of the world in advertising that's employee owned.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon in tech at all. Most companies are employee owned in tech. It's really telling that nobody got that. Nobody executed that idea of general long-term wealth sharing within the company in our line of work.
To even talk about it, I think was very refreshing, because oftentimes there's like morality attached, or there's, I don't know, all these weird philosophies attached to what you should and shouldn't like do as someone who's creating impact. Whereas in tech, that's not to say it's that binary, but usually in tech or usually in finance,
you're right.
Let's say it's you don't hold back from saying, hey, we're here to also create wealth and also make money, and also it makes sense. So I think that when I also heard you speak at that event was very refreshing, because oftentimes people in general restrain from talking about money, specifically creative people. I don't know why.
No, because it's easy to. There's this. It's pretty. It's a harsh way to put it, but most often people are likely to want to do things that they like at a lesser price.
Yeah.
So if they organically like it, it's easier for you to exploit that and get them to do it at a lesser price. This is not just for creativity. This is for any profession, right? Like if you like it, cool, fine, dude, I'll do it for a little less. I like it. But with creative people, that's something you can exploit to a much higher extent, and that's kind of what's been happening, right? There's the adage that I hate is this thing called the creative adult is the child who survived, because you can that means children don't need to think about money and whatever else and all of that. So I think that's generally something that has easily been exploited
Yeah.
over a long period of time. And most creative people till date they have a fairly messy relationship with money.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, so it was just, I guess,
Yeah, I mean, I think
easy.
it's very empowering too, because you're flipping the script and the narrative, and just also if you're talking to a younger audience, I think they are more clear and direct of, hey, I also want to make money. There's nothing wrong in it, and there's nothing. So I did find that refreshing, and also haven't found too many people or companies sort of talk about it. But now I want to switch gears
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
and ask you to share your family lore.
My family lore, Jesus, my daddy issues. Are we sure? we would just tell me more nice things about talented. What is this?
Just so that we don't get so comfortable.
Fair enough. What do you want to know?
So, I mean, obviously everyone doesn't have context, but the last time I did attend a talk, and even I have forgotten the context of why it was shared. So I want you to refresh that memory. Where it was the family curse when for you to become an entrepreneur, not everyone was, and there were failed businesses.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is where the reel begins. So my family has a curse. Okay, no, there is a curse in my family. I was told there's a curse in my family. So the curse is, and it was a curse that my dad told me about 5 years ago, which was kind of a year before we started up. The curse basically goes something like this. Like my great granddad was evidently my dad's side of the family is a riches to rags story.
Right.
Okay, so my great granddad is where the riches were. You can put the graphics over here. I'll send you his pictures. This is kind of where he was the richest, and then his children screwed it up, and then his children screwed it up, his children screwed it up, like that. Okay, so and while he was like at his peak, and he was like doing like, this is full Logan Roy Succession mode. Okay, he's
Love
like
it.
trying to figure out like who gets the family business, all of this, and he was like splitting the family wealth amongst a bunch of people, and there was this, and lo and behold, they turn out from at that point. So this was all happening in Chennai, erstwhile Madras, and they suddenly figure that he has a secret family in Pune.
I forgot this part.
Right, so this person who is his partner in Pune shows up to Madras, and she's like, motherfucker, where's my like why am I not getting any like where's my share, right? And here are your children, and what is this, da da da. Okay, and he's like, no, why did you show up here? No way, you're not getting anything. So they basically have this huge whatever, and she's like super pissed. So this is all in the 50s, and she like curses him, saying, oh, you think you're some big businessman, you think you want, wait bro, here's the curse. No man for 2 generations in your family will ever succeed in business again.
Correct.
This is the curse. Okay, and like and I think my great granddad's sons were so happy to hear that, because they were like, "Abba,
Thank God.
we don't have to succeed." Okay, cool. Let's just keep failing, bro, one after the other. So they just kept failing, dude.
Right.
They just failed. They were serial failures. Okay,
yeah.
so and the thing is like and they tried random shit. They were just there was a buffalo milk business. There was some transport business. Then there was some random stuff was happening. But there was some whatever. There was some family money to just keep wasting. No, so there was no real pressure
on
to
them.
like So and there were houses. So there was no rent that needed to be paid. So this kept happening. So then the grandsons were also told. So everyone gets told of this curse.
Yeah.
Huh?
But it depends what number you are.
What number you are, right? So the second generation, my dad, no, the thing is, if you know that there's a curse, why do you still keep trying to do the business? And if you believe in the curse, why do you
Right.
keep doing the business? They'll still keep doing it. But so there's a, hey, wow, you're still doing it,
You're still at it.
despite curse. What a brave man. You fail. It's okay, bro, must be the curse. Okay, so this was about 45 years, just
Right.
kept happening. To a point where I think when I went to college and started working and all of that, this concept of like being an entrepreneur and all was fully out.
Right.
Like it was not even like,
In your purview.
not all. Until my co-founder, his name is Gautam, who did not have a family curse,
Right.
okay, and who had no trauma around entrepreneurship at all and had been an entrepreneur by that point anyway. He invited me to join as co-founder of Talented, and we were both colleagues in our previous agency anyway. And at that point, I was like, okay, geez, just sit down and I tell you, I need to give you a bit of a
Lore.
yeah. so then I told him of all of this, and I'm like, listen, like technically I'm third generation.
Right.
So technically the
I'm
curse
good.
is off, but I think I got to tell you anyway. And he was like, haha, whatever. He just laughed about it, and we started the company anyway, and it looks like the curse is off. We've
Yeah.
been-
I mean, also on like a little deeper lens,
Right.
when you also said it like last time, what I loved is you said there's different communities that actually encourage
Yeah.
failing.
yeah.
And that's interesting because even I'd not thought about it.
True,
I'm
yeah.
like partly Gujarati, which is true. Like my families have tried, there's like, it's not a big deal. You can
So
try
jealous.
things. Sorry, come back and, so I think that was
No,
interesting.
that's so jealous. I'll repeat that point just for all the Gujaratis watching. So, I'm super like envious generally of business communities like yourselves. The general Gujarati Marwadi appetite for failure in business, because I think there's a certain lack of shame,
There is.
which
No
is
shame.
beautiful. It's so beautiful, and I am so envious of that, because I think in a lot of especially like I think in a lot of other communities there is a, oh my god, you failed, oh my god, shame, go stand against the wall, we will talk about you in every family wedding for the next 10 years.
This reminded me, the way you narrated it, I saw this video when y'all did the Hindu campaign, and I
Yeah.
think it was a BTS or your prep for it. I'm not sure which one. You were very animated and you were sort of acting it out.
Right.
And even in your podcast, like you've spoken about early life when you liked being on stage and performing and, having that sort of way of like selling ideas and, so how big, of course you enjoy it, but how big of a part of the process is it? And like,
Oh, the showmanship.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, dude. It's the best part.
yeah,
It's the best part. Yeah. Yeah, there is a certain like, I don't know, man. Claps are great, right?
Yeah.
Like, claps are amazing. I think we can talk. Like we can, sure, you can see a bunch of stuff that you've done on a screen where someone's like, this arrow went up and
yeah.
whatever. But claps are amazing.
Like that gives you the thrill,
oh
right?
my
Like,
god, yeah. What nothing beats applause, dude. Nothing genuinely beats human applause. It is truly one of the most fulfilling things. Yeah.
But and like that, in a pure sense, reflects in the work too, right? Because I was thinking when you even showed the Britannia campaign, to me it was, not Britannia, yeah, Britannia, right? To me it was 8 billboards. That's not a lot for India. Get so much attention, like it's disproportionate, right? So the way you'll even manage to hack attention.
Right.
And I think there was one Flipkart one as well that I saw, and there was an announcement on the flight. I think this is sometime back.
yeah.
And it's like these seem like small things, but they disproportionately hack
Right.
sort of attention, and it's very real to also the era we're in right now. So is that again something organically tied to you, and I'm sure people in the team having a pulse of what's gonna get that applause? Because showmanship can also be very different. Like it could be a very personal, I like the clap and I'll perform it, and it is common for ad men and women to like that and want that. But I think the thread, and it really does reflect in the work and the way it's orchestrated. It's very
Sure.
smart and sharp. It's not just, hey, we'll make a big hoo-ha. It's like we'll do less but maximum impact.
No, I'm so glad you noticed that, dude. Yeah, there is a, you have to, there is a, I read this somewhere. I don't know who. I think Gotham talks about this. Like, it's a good thing if people think that that something is a little underrated. That general feeling that, oh my God, this deserves more
Right.
love than it is getting,
Right.
is actually a very good place to be for
Yeah.
any campaign. Even if it's having like 3 billion people talking about it, for them to feel like, nope, this is underrated, 5 billion should talk about it,
Yeah.
is great overall. And I think you don't achieve that if you have, if the if that delta is not there between the, if that disproportionate thing is not there.
Yeah.
Like, because I kind of feel like, especially in our part of the world, we don't have a good way of like, the I love this thing about KBC. Okay, like, sorry, very roundabout answer, but it's a
Yeah.
lovely observation. So let me try to uh, see see if I can deconstruct that. One of my favorite bits in Kaun Banega Crorepati usually is when, after they hit like 3.5 lakhs.
Yeah.
Okay, Amitabh Bachchan will like pause and he'll ask the contestant, तो आप क्या करोगे इस पैसे के साथ? Okay. There, and the contestant supposed to give an answer. Oh,
Right.
I will, whatever my EMI, I'll buy some fridge, I'll go for some trip, whatever, I'll fund somebody,
Yeah.
fund some wedding, whatever. Because we are genuinely curious about how do
What?
the people with money spend money,
Yeah.
right? We don't have a template for that beyond a point. And I think there is a, and I think genuinely we've worked with this little like frugality type mindset a little
Yeah.
bit, right? Where if you give me like 5 crores, I actually won't know what to do with it. But if you tell me, hey, listen, I want something 10 crores worth, here's 5 crores, now you have my attention.
Yeah.
Right, overall. So I think at a level, it is understanding the, what is value, dude. Value is thinking you've gotten more than what
You
you paid
deserve.
for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I think what a good, any good purchase is that. So
Yeah.
for instance, like in fuck, you've really gotten me into a rabbit hole on this, but I'll make it worth your time. The thing about I guess advertising is free art.
Correct.
Okay, look at it as free art. You have, the trouble is, you like a book, you pay for the book. You like a movie, you pay for the movie. You like an ad, you pay for something else.
Yeah.
You can't pay for the ad, right? But you are kind of paying for the ad with your time. Okay, so it is I'm giving you this 20 seconds. I'm not giving you money, but I am giving you 20
Time,
seconds, right? So you inadvertently are very pissed off that your time is, and your attention is not, is being generally taken for granted. And our regular experience with advertising is that nobody takes my time seriously, nobody takes my attention seriously. Everywhere I look, there are just people who are just not, and I think that psychologically makes us feel very sad about the world we live in. A little bit. So when people generally say that, wow, my attention, you care for my you care for my time without money, really? That's they already love you.
I see. There's a delight factor in that, like massively, right? Because you feel like you've discovered something, or you feel like, how has no one thought of this before? Like that moment that happens. Honestly, it happened yesterday when I saw the YouTube bit y'all did, because I saw Saloni's post.
Right.
And like I really follow her, and it was so heartfelt, and I saw someone else crying. So it's also those things that, yes, it's emotion, but like in a way that really you get it. But I think there's two things, and again, like I said, if I'm asking something that's very basic, you can totally say no. But in your, some of the previous things you've spoken about, you've touched upon it, but not fully, on like celebrity influence and advertising. And My sense was you had a nuanced take, but you also had a take of, hey, they bring down
Yeah.
the perception of
Mm-hmm.
advertising. So, and also the popular narrative is that celebrity endorsement equals advertising. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
just what is your sense on that now, since it is changing a lot, right? Like,
Sure.
a lot of like new age brands are more creator dependent, go
Mm.
directly to
Mm.
creators. Of course, the larger ones will still slap on Shah Rukh or whoever else. But like, what is your sort of take on that?
Uh, yeah, dude. I think I mean, see, we the amount of what do you say? Um, I think it's just about if there's a caste hierarchy amongst the art forms, right? We're kind of at the bottom.
Hmm.
Advertising is kind of at the bottom. Um, maybe in our country, films are at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so but these two parts need to keep interacting with each other every once in a while,
Yeah.
a little bit, and therefore the power dynamic really shows, and the people who are in control of the power dynamic in most cases are the celebrities. Okay,
Right.
so I think it is a it's kind of a case of like basically celebs who understand that their uh, that they are also talking to creative people on the other side. They just command a brilliant, like, I mean, they're going to be recommended by other creative people all the time,
Yeah.
right? And we know historically that even the names that you're talking about, like Shah Rukh, is excellent to work
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
He's brilliant to work with. Like I'm yet to find someone in advertising who will tell me that, oh, it was so shitty shooting with Shah Rukh,
Correct.
right? So that doesn't happen. But there are some folks who kind of like their premium comes from the amount of pain they cause.
Yeah.
Right? So they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, see how painful I am. That's why
Right.
I'm who I am, right?
Right.
So I think that's a bit short-lived. You're not going to go too far
Far with that
with that,
ideology. Yeah.
and you're not going to be a huge favorite of people in it. Because, dude, like, honestly, unless someone like me
Yeah.
recommends a celebrity, they don't get work
Yeah.
from a
True.
client. That is
Correct.
just, I mean, it's either me or someone in a media agency or someone in a brand team.
Correct.
And unless
It's
people
a
like us feel good
self-sustain.
about
Yeah.
working with them, it's not going to happen
Yeah.
after a point.
Yeah.
So so I think there's a bit of myopic thinking in terms of normalizing an anxiety filled
Yeah.
relationship. I think there is an anxiety premium that
Yeah.
that
Comes with.
that
Yeah.
comes with it, and oftentimes it is true that the real brand in the room is the celeb,
Yeah.
not the brand,
Yeah.
which I think is not
Yeah. Not
which is
true.
not true, right?
Correct.
And it shouldn't be that way. So I think sporadically these things kind of keep happening. It is also true that in our line of work, the yeah, it is
Yeah.
true, it keeps happening, but I do kind of see that changing, right? Because there's among the ones like I'll give you a recent example. Like just last week, I was asked by I visited Hyderabad to narrate a bunch of uh, film concepts to this uh, pan India celeb who comes from Tamil Nadu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hope, when are you releasing this podcast?
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Okay, the film won't be out by then, so I can't reveal their name. But probably one of the most versatile, talented actors
Right.
we know. Spent like generally a couple of hours with him where he spoke to me as a creative peer.
Yeah.
Sure, we spoke about the films. We knew what we wanted to do, and I'm very excited about it. And we also spoke about a bunch of other. And I left that meeting feeling so damn psyched for this project.
Yeah.
And most celebs don't and I have written probably one of our, like, I mean, bunch of us have written it together, probably one of our best pieces of work because we want to impress him.
And got that energy from him.
Oh man, incredible, right? So stuff like that is priceless. And I don't think a lot of celebrities who have these issues realize how creative people in advertising really are.
Yeah.
We are very good at our jobs, and so it is a gap in respect between creative people. And like anyone who's generally being a diva needs to like kind of the person on the other end is creatively very, very good at what they do as much as this person is as at what they do. And so I can strip it down to, I mean, we can even like take off everything else, right? And we can make it very simply an issue of different creative people in different lines of work needing to respect each other for what they are.
To also create a larger whole.
Towards a larger goal, which is something we do all the damn time. We do that all the time, right? So we just, if we do it better in this part of the job, you will see better work come out and it will benefit the consumer.
Another thing that I wanted to just pick your brain on.
Please,
So since a lot of the brands you all work on are like our new age, our digital first, so you already do get even internet culture. There is a lot of pushback on social now. You know, a lot of people are frustrated. It could also just be like headlines, but people are moving away, you know, from Instagram and moving to like smaller media platforms.
Right.
What is your kind of, do you have a take on where it's gonna go, and then therefore what are the ways to hack attention? When see, we already are in a fragmented media ecosystem, and that's gonna get, right now it is dominated by a few platforms, but increasingly that's gonna reduce. So then, like, what is your sort of take?
Dude, one of my favorite like subgenres of content is seeing like people who are Gen Z predict what's going to happen with Gen Alpha. It's like, okay, so the kids have an opinion on the really kiddier kids. Okay, let's it's quite funny. No, but it's also like, I like some of the takes. I remember someone was saying that like there's going to be this thing where and it was I think it was someone who was an Instagram creator. She was like, this so much of our lives are going to be online that like some the whatever the well-to-do Gen Alpha kids will have, so getting to be offline will be a privilege.
Which already is. In fact, like I see a lot of it right now. A lot of people are like, offline is a new luxury, and just like offline you're smoking.
But
it is quite,
no, I agree with you.
It's quite, it has sort of become the popular narrative. So it's interesting to see maybe how that'll converge or diverge. Like there are brands already who like luxury brands who already are like removed their Instagram presence and now only do shows, because they're like, now we've become too like now you're seeing each brand too much, and that's reducing sort of the value of it. So now if you keep it, if you know, then that's where it sort of lies. So I often think about, you know, sort of where is it really going to go for.
Do you have a hot take on that?
I do think it is going closer to that, because people are inundated. Like they are inundated. If you see like even millennials, Gen Zs already didn't post much, but even millennials now don't really post too much. Like the whole curated thing is out of the window, so they don't feel comfortable posting too much of their own life. And then they're also seeking things out that have novelty, you know, that can at least make me feel like I'm part of this club, that I'm part of this, you know, sort of community where I can connect with people too. And I know for a long time it was like, oh, we're a lonely generation, but I really think it's manifested now, you know, where people are willing to come, meet strangers, like willing to do all of those things.
I mean, we are in the, Bangalore is the capital of commoditize everything. Right? So there's I think there was there was a did you hear about the grocery rave in
Yeah.
Bangalore a while
Yes.
ago? There's this person, Kavya, if you're watching, this is uh, so there's this person, I think her name is Kavya. She and her company, they organized it. Yeah, dude, it blew up on like, I think it's just a
Exactly.
tweet. Yeah, exactly, right. So I think you're right about the fact that there is a, yeah, it's a little weird if we're like, wait, this thing can't be commoditized, right?
Yeah.
Are we really trying to commoditize this? So
I
yeah.
think it's like a confused sort of state as well, because then it's also millennials being like, what do you mean there's a matcha rave? Like, raves are supposed to be raves, you know? So there's a lot of that.
But there is an anti, like, like, screw the traditional vices of the smoking,
Yeah,
drinking,
correct.
all of that. We're gonna get ourselves some more productive vices. What can you explain that to me? What is that about?
I actually don't like. I support the running and the actual
Sure.
wellness and all of that. Like, that's great if you're doing
Hmm.
it. To me, I initially, because let's say I love coffee. Now, if there's a coffee rave, initially I was like, oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
But then when I actually thought about it, that you're downing like espresso shots, that's not healthy. So there's
Okay.
just some pushback, and the term for it is soft clubbing
Okay.
and soft, yeah, like
Yeah.
soft vice
Okay.
maxing or whatever,
Right.
where you want to replicate that behavior because it's an innate thing of like, we're together, but you're also taking a stance on like, I'm better than you, that I'm not doing these, XYZ. But I
Hmm.
think holistically, it's not solving for anything.
Okay.
At least for me, it's like when you do run clubs, when you actually have wellness events, like those things that are nourishing you, great. Connect with people, have a rave, run after rave. I don't find cringe. I did as a
What is run
concept.
after rave?
So you do a run and then you have a rave. But
Okay,
they
got
say
it.
rave, but it's a dance party.
Gotcha.
So as a concept, it sounds cringe. But I know people like people 20s. It's actually so wholesome because you've run, you're
Hmm.
not dressing up, you're sweaty, you're with a group of friends, you're dancing,
Very
and you're
cool.
fully being yourself.
Very cool.
So it's not like you're removing those inhibitions. So those things I think are cool because you're
Hmm.
not caring about the other 10 factors. But I do think like matcha rave and all is just something that you see on Instagram, which has flattened culture a lot. So I'm seeing something happening in Berlin, and I'm like, why don't I do it here? And to be honest, people also are bored. So they're like, there's nothing else to do, I will attend. And it's like I'm seeing, like, I also feel matcha and like this cocktailification of coffee and like all these drinks is happening in New York. Like, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen here, but it's because everything is flattened a
Sure.
bit and we're all just seeing it through the same feed.
Hmm.
So the nuance sort of gets lost. So I don't really think there's a logic to it. It's just that this is the new cool thing that I'm seeing. Why can't I do it here? And brands are more than willing to make it an experience. Hence, I think it's like a, I don't think there's like too much of a deeper, at least I don't have a deeper take on it.
No, that's a. I mean, I guess the. I don't know, man. Like, are most of the people who are doing the things, like, are they aware of? Do y'all all share the same level of take about it?
I think it depends on how old you are because I feel like the rave part of it also becomes a thing of you're too old to get it.
Sure.
So it depends how old you are. I think people who are 25, 26 onwards kind of look down upon it. But then also, like me, when you see it, like the run thing really changed my mind. I was like, this is great and it is so wholesome. So it depends if you interact with it. But like, yeah, I think like these coffee raves and all as a concept, sure, that I think it's wholesome. Honestly, I've seen videos like of these DJs coming into a bakery. People are like, nice. If you're spreading
Yeah.
vibes, go for
Yeah.
it.
Like like I think a bunch of us. So there's this colleague of ours. His name is Vaibhav. Hi, Vaibhav. Vaibhav organizes a so we're remote, talented is remote first, so a bunch of our colleagues come to work once every quarter,
Right.
right? So we spend like there's this IRL week for 5 days. So surprisingly, there is no like I don't think there's a hey, let's go grab a beer after work
Correct.
type culture at all. I remember having it in my 20s,
Yeah.
but that doesn't seem to exist anymore.
Yeah.
Instead, Vaibhav organizes a office wide badminton event.
Or paddle pickle, yeah.
My god, yeah, dude. So it's like actually like 40, 50 of we're like 85 people. A good more than half the office like usually signs up,
Yeah.
and they sweat it out, man, like
But I
together.
love it. Actually, I have a take on this because my aunt was also in communications and she would tell me, you guys are lame, like, because the culture at that point was you work really late and then
Right.
Now I feel your work friends were also like just your life friends. I feel from her take on it, right?
Yeah.
Those are the people you're hanging out with all the
Yeah,
time.
that used to be a problem, yes.
Yeah, and now that it's quite open, I'm sure we're talented. Or even when I was in an ad agency, there's people from all over. We don't
Right.
know each other.
Right.
I'm not necessarily. I have my own friends, so I'm like, I don't want to come and drink with you, but playing a sport, doing an activity,
That
instantly
makes
like
sense. That makes
at
sense.
least to me, it feels like that. It reduces the barriers. You get to like, you're also doing an activity. You don't feel that bad.
Yeah.
If I had to choose, I would love playing a sport with strangers, but if I had to go out drinking, in my head, it's like I'd rather do it with my friends.
That makes sense, yeah.
So,
No, I'm quite impressed at the things that are being rejected.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they are very. I did not expect the intoxication culture to be rejected. I'm very surprised, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and I think especially in advertising, because it has a bad reputation.
Oh, I agree.
for
It's
it.
a good thing to let go of. I agree.
Yeah, so it is refreshing. I want to now just like go fully on a different tangent and ask you about food, because that's something that I see so often, and you cook some fantastic meals. So one right now, what is the cuisine you're like?
What's the cuisine?
Yeah,
Nothing, dude. Like it's just whatever's in the fridge.
you whip up, but like, what's your inspiration for it?
The inspiration for cooking.
Yeah,
So I used to cook a lot when I was a kid, and I think, okay, here is my one like I have only a like one grouse that I I don't think I was encouraged or
right.
expected much to cook, I guess, but I used to like really like it. So I remember like I think I screwed up one dish, and then my mom or my aunt at that point was like, nah, okay, cool, get out of the kitchen, no more
Yeah.
of you type. So it just stopped for a long time. I picked it up again. I think my pandemic wife and I started cooking a lot more,
Yeah.
and I've just been cooking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might have a fingers crossed. We might do something about it on the talented handle as well pretty
Yeah.
soon. Yeah.
You know what you should do? What Anurag does with Apartment.
What is Anurag do with
So
apartment?
there's, I don't know if you follow him. Okay, so Anurag Arora is
Mhm.
this designer plus someone who works in tech. He has no idea who I am, but I follow him. He's from Bangalore, and he cooks a lot, and he hosts this thing called Apartment at his apartment, which is like a curated
All right, some
meal.
7 people come in. Ha, got it. Yeah.
And see, again, it's like an offline, people live,
Sure.
you're meeting people. So
Sure.
yeah, I feel you should take
There
that
is
out.
there is a thing in the works. Hopefully by the time this comes out, we might make some teaser announcement about that. But it has to do with food and talented.
Yeah.
Let's see
Okay,
what comes
awesome.
together. Yeah.
I feel like we do have to,
We have to wrap? Okay.
But I wanna, so one, the podcast is called On Second Thought. So
Mhm.
you have to share something that you've had a second thought on recently. By that, I mean any conviction that you've held, but you've let go of recently. And two, also, since you have such good knowledge on, this is specifically me asking you on like history of advertising, media, all that, like what would you recommend someone starting off with? It doesn't have to just be
To read?
books. Doesn't have to just be books. It could be your your inspirational points and who shaped you.
Okay. What the first question was?
Any second
Anything I've
thought
had a
you've
second
had.
thought on, right? Um, okay, let me give this a think.
Yeah, this usually I feel I should send because it's so hard but it
No,
could
it's
be
cool,
anything.
It's cool. This is the first pod you've done where there's been like whatever. This is an extempore pod, right? Like this is an impromptu pod. Like
Yeah.
you didn't. There
No
were
prep.
No prep happened. So that's good. that goes with the theme. Okay. Something I've had a second thought on is, yeah, where we over glorify founders. We don't need so much. Bleh.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're just like, so I'm part of this, like, so I think when I started this, um, like sure, dude, like there is a, I think I I I've been a founder for like 4 years now, and sure, I enjoy the company of other founders, but I also get really sick of being around them sometimes, because there is this very, like, this support group type mentality that happens, where where there is not enough of just calling out someone's bullshit,
Yeah.
and there is a, oh, yo,
The
you didn't
struggle.
get investment,
Yeah.
oh, they, somebody left you, oh, so sad, oh, it's fine. So I think there is a, so there is that, I don't know, I guess the term is like bhaichara in a sense, but I think it's kind of gone overboard amongst founders. I'm part of a bunch of these, like some founder groups where, like, most of the conversations are like, like you're just searching for like sympathy where it
Right.
is not supposed to exist.
Validation and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, where it's clearly your mistake,
Yeah.
but just because you're talking about it amongst a group of founders doesn't mean we all get to whatever,
Yeah.
right? um, like there was this one, I think there was this one person who was talking about how they're having a really, like, shitty week at work, because one of their employees who was supposed to show up, their someone in their family is like sick and admitted to the hospital, and now they've not shown up, and now they have to do their work. And I'm like, who's having the shitty week? Your employees, families, what?
But you must be just not responding.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like you, why, well, like, because if, because that general thing of like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not worth your time to go, like, I'd rather like wait for you to call me on a podcast and ask me the question about second thought and time it correctly to tell a larger audience, instead of changing that one person. That one person is probably not going to change.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so there is a bit of that. I think there's a, yes, we should 100% support founders. We are all, we have to have more entrepreneurs in society. We've done a lot of work at Talented that champions entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
etc., as well, but we cannot glorify entrepreneurship to a point uh, where we kind of let them off the hook for having for being assholes,
Yeah.
or infantilizing them
Yeah.
to a point, right? So if I were given a choice to spend, like, do I want to be on the first deck or the third deck of the Titanic for a party? I would pick the third deck of the
Right.
Titanic any day, because that's more real. Like, and the employer is nothing without the
Employee.
employee,
Yeah.
and this general echo chamber of founders patting each other on the back, etc., is something which I found when I started off as an entrepreneur. I'm like, hey man, that'll be really cool. Wow, come guys, let's all
Yeah.
share our feelings.
Yeah. It's
Good
like
on
that
that.
we
Yeah.
listen and we don't judge. That's real. Like that's the vibe it's giving.
Listen, what is this real item?
I'll, it,
You
she'll
will
send it to
share
you.
this.
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
put.
got it. Take it. Great. So this is one. What is the second question?
uh, any like who's been your sort of inspiration, who do you keep coming back to, so that if someone, well, of course they can't replicate you, but like someone wants to learn, just understand more on advertising, understand more on how the industry works, get good solid foundation. Or it could also, like you had mentioned, you don't read nonfiction anymore. If you read at all, you read fiction.
Yeah, dude. Non-fiction
So
is, yeah,
just like
yeah.
basically just helpful like pointers if anyone is curious and wants to.
On to get into our line of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I think in general, like, make sure you are good. I don't know how else to say it. Just make sure you're good. I think our industry has a problem with a lot of people who like advertising but who are not good at advertising, who are in advertising. And I think we will genuinely be better off if we were a smaller industry. We employ too many people. I'm just saying this world over. We employ too many people. We don't we for some reason we look at ourselves as this, we are this job creator of sorts, and the most large, this is not, I'm not even saying creative, not even a in a creative agency sense, and like, yeah, it's just, there's a lot of like bloat and overstaffed, and it's overstaffed by a bunch of people who are really ruining it for those who are both good at their job and who like it. So which is why you don't have most shops. Sure, the reason most shops are not talent dense is, you could say, that's because of a bunch of problems with the policy and the employer and all of that. It's also because they're not letting go of as many people as they should,
Yeah.
right? And they're kind of okay with a certain
Okay.
level of mediocre talent,
Yeah.
working for mediocre brands, producing mediocre output,
Yeah.
because they think the consumer is mostly mediocre, right? So it's that's the whole like line. So if just remember, this is a there are lots and lots of people in this line of work who genuinely enjoy what they do, and they are genuinely good at what they do, and they want to keep getting better at what they do. They're not passengers. And I think the worst thing you can do to a good employee is to surround them with bad employees. So 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 if you are planning to get into into this line of work, be be very self-critical. And being self-critical is different from having an imposter syndrome. That's fine. Like, some amount of being self-critical is a good thing. And if you genuinely feel you are really really good, go for it. Or if you have a bunch of others who you think are really whatever, who tell you, wow, you are really really good, then go for it.
Yeah.
But to have I think one of the I used to give some like guest lectures at some media colleges in the past, and one of the questions I used to ask the class was, how many of you struggled to get here, right? And that was a question starting, like, I started lecturing when I was whatever 2011 12 something. I used to ask that question year on year, and every year the number of hands that would be raised to the question of how many of you all struggled, yeah, kept getting lower and lower. You could say on one end that's a good thing, because cool, creativity is becoming a more accepted option. We don't have da da da, etc. But that also means that there are more people who are just generally doing it,
Yeah.
and
Passing by. Yeah.
generally seeing what happens
Yeah.
right out of it,
Yeah.
right? So and that's as much of an issue as everything else that we've kind of talked about. So if you think you're really really good, there are all of the cool starting points is one search away. I'm sure you'll kind of get there. So yeah, if you're not really really good, and if you like it, there are other ways in which you can engage with the industry without working in it.
Thank you so much. I thought we will cut it down, but I think we spoke for an hour.
Yeah, your
And-
studio, your studio guys have not come to cut us off. So
yeah, I think they're also hooked. So, but thank you. I'm honestly really, really grateful. Actually, there's a lot that I still want to ask you. So at some point, we will do a part 2.
Nice.